Well, I am from Peru, and I was an officer in the Peruvian Navy, so I didn't know anything about money. And in my family, my father, my 3 brothers, we all worked for the government. So we didn't have any financial education. My biggest fear was to be poor, because I saw that when my father got retired, his income went from $2,000 to $150
per month.
Per month.
After how many years of
Pesos or dollars?
Dollars.
After how many years of service?
After 35 years of service.
35 years.
That's still going on today,
wow.
isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's still going on today. And when my father passed away, my mother was 88 years old, and she started to receive $75 per month.
And she lives on $75 a month. So what happened to your mother?
Yeah.
So my mother received as her pension plan $75 per month.
$75. That's
$75.
what she had to live on.
Yes.
What about medical?
Well, we have a system like Social Security, okay, for medical, but it's a disaster. So if you have to go there, you are going to be dead.
Okay, so
You're going to be dead.
let's say your mother's 88 years old. She's getting $75 a month. She's got to pay for food, shelter, this. And if she gets sick, what happens? I mean, I know you take care of your mother.
Yes.
Because that's not the story. The story is, what does she do if you weren't taking care of her?
She has to be in a public system, which is a disaster.
Medical system.
Medical system.
Have you been to one?
Yes.
What does it look like?
Oh, it's very poor. They don't have the physical conditions. They don't have the skills. The technology is really, really very basic.
So for somebody, let's say in your mother's situation, 88 years old, living on $75 a month and possibly not well, what would happen to her?
Well, they are miserable, and then the death is coming soon. That happens to many people.
Quicker.
Yes, because they don't have assistance.
So, I mean, the reason that's important, because Kim and I had the similar story, is the reason I have rich dad, poor dad, is my poor dad died poor because he took on the governor. You know, my father's a Democrat, and he shifted to the Republican Party because Democrats are crooks. You know, Hawaii, there's not one Republican in Hawaii today. I mean, even the Supreme Court justices were put on trial because Hawaii is so corrupt. And my father, being an honest man, he shifted from Democrat to Republican and ran against his boss. But in the process, he lost his pension. And so that's why a PhD was poor. That's why I call him poor dad, because he went to school at age 5, and then he becomes the head of education, gets his ass kicked, and then he finds out he's poor, but he has PhD. So that's why I make the joke, you know, PhD stands for poor, helpless, and desperate. It's not funny at another level because we have to take care of him. And Kim had a similar thing. She took on, what happened to your father?
My father, when he was in his early 50s, he was working, he'd worked many years for a printing company. He was head of sales for the printing company. And when the president was resigning, stepping down, it was either my dad, who was head of sales, was going to be president, or the chief financial officer, the accountant, was going to be president. And as often is the case, sales and accounting often do clash, and they clashed. So when push came to shove, the CFO got the presidency, and the CFO said to my dad, bye-bye, and he was fired.
But your dad remained a Democrat, unfortunately. No, it was really funny because her dad marched with Martin Luther King and all that. Very, very hardcore, good man. Her father's fantastic man.
Yes.
High principles.
Yes. But
he belonged to the richest country club in Oregon, but he was the only Democrat.
Only because he wanted to be different. That was Dad.
I'd go
that
in
was
there.
Dad.
I say, Bill, keep your mouth shut because you're going to get killed in here. But I was support all this.
But to that point, I mean, that was a big wake up call for me when he got fired, because he had also taught me, work hard, get a job, work your way up the corporate ladder, exactly what he did. And so when I saw that happen to him, I'm like, I'm not taking that path. I'm going a different path.
One more thing about, because not that you can vote for who you like, but my dad shifted from Democrat to Republican. President Reagan shifted from Democrat to Republican, and Trump shifted from Democrat to Republican for the same reason, corruption. And it's just tragic.
¿Realmente eres dueño de tu negocio o solo tienes un trabajo con más estrés y menos tiempo? Si cada día trabajas más y tienes menos tiempo, algo está mal. Tu emprendimiento debería darte tiempo y dinero, no quitártelo. Por eso creé Real Mentor, una mentoría que contiene procesos, sistemas, donde el dinero trabaja para ti, en vez de que te pases la vida trabajando por dinero. Llevo 28 años representando a Robert Kiyosaki en Latinoamérica, ayudando a emprendedores a obtener la verdadera libertad financiera. No es teoría, no es motivación, es un método probado que está cambiando la vida de miles de emprendedores. Si quieres dejar de intercambiar tu tiempo por dinero y aprender a multiplicar tus ingresos para que te conduzcan a la libertad financiera, regístrate aquí ahora. El cupo es limitado. Solo estamos buscando 5 emprendedores que en los próximos 30 días quieran transformar su mentalidad. Así que si de verdad estás listo para cambiar tu vida, ingresa ahora antes de que se cierre esta ventana de oportunidad. Más de 25 años juntos al lado del gran maestro Robert Kiyosaki, y está acá para anunciar que me está endosando todo su poder para el mercado hispano sobre los proyectos que tenemos con Rich Dad Latino. Soy el CEO y además de los juegos de cash flow y los clubes de cash flow. Desde que nos conocimos con Robert, hemos estado viajando por Latinoamérica. Hemos visitado Perú, Argentina, Chile, Bolivia, Paraguay, México, España, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Colombia.
It was a lot of fun, a lot of cerveza.
Y Robert ha ayudado a muchos emprendedores a que sean financieramente libres, no solamente en Latinoamérica o en el mundo hispano, sino alrededor del mundo. Aquí tenemos el juego del cash flow detrás mío. Y ese juego, Robert y King lo crearon en 1996. Y esta es la parte más importante del juego, que son los estados financieros. Y la razón por la que eso es muy importante es que gracias a eso él pudo tener un préstamo de $30 millones. Si no tienes un estado financiero, lo que el banco te da es una tarjeta de crédito para que tengas deuda mala. Lo que el banco no le interesa es cuál es tu nota del sistema académico o a qué universidad fuiste. Lo que el banco necesita es ver tu estado financiero. Lo que el banco necesita es ver esto, porque ahí se va a dar cuenta qué tan inteligente eres con el dinero o qué tan tonto financieramente eres en el manejo del dinero. Entonces, en los pasados 25 años hemos recorrido junto, y Fernando, un servidor, está a cargo de llevar esta misión de Rich Dad, de jugar el juego de cash flow y de crear los clubes en todo el mundo hispano. Y la belleza de este juego es de que tú tienes que hacer algo. No solamente se trata de leer un libro. Esto es matemática muy simple, pero el secreto está en saber dónde pones cada número, porque eso te eleva tu inteligencia financiera. Y lo que ves aquí a la derecha es el estado de utilidades o pérdidas del negocio. El estado donde el dinero entra o sale, el estado del flujo del efectivo. Y para la mayor parte de las personas, cuando tienen el dinero que ingresa, luego sale como un gasto. Y si compras, por ejemplo, tu casa no es un activo, es un pasivo, porque saca dinero de tu bolsillo. Por ejemplo, la magia que sucede es que si tú juegas 100 veces o 1000 veces el juego, tu mente se transforma. Mientras más juegues este juego y cometas más errores, más inteligente te vuelves. Entonces, cuando Robert y King crearon en 1996 este juego, el propósito fue despertar tu genio financiero. Cuando tú tomas control de tu inteligencia financiera, de tu genio financiero, puedes tomar control de tu futuro. Entonces, la misión de Fernando es llevar esta educación a través de Rich Dad Latino a todo el mundo hispano. Y como ustedes lo ven todos los días, hay un montón de maestros falsos en el mercado. Y cuando hemos viajado por Latinoamérica, hemos conocido muchos de los maestros falsos que mienten y venden activos falsos. Entonces ahora se ha creado todo un nuevo sistema de entrenamiento de los líderes donde se soporta, se apoya la verdadera educación financiera. Tenemos un filtro para mantener todas esas personas falsas fuera de nuestro equipo de entrenamiento. Entonces, una vez más, quiero repetirte para que lo recuerdes que el objetivo de este juego es despertar tu juego financiero y controlar tu futuro. Porque lo que más pasa hoy en día es que el dinero ingresa y luego sale como un gasto. Y mucho de ese dinero viene acá como un pasivo. Muchas personas que te ofrecen que hagas inversiones, malos brokers de bienes raíces o malos analistas financieros, te sugieren que compres cosas acá que son pasivos. Y nosotros hacemos lo opuesto. Te enseñamos a que construyas tu futuro aquí con los activos.
I mean, this story, this book here, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. My rich dad didn't finish school, because his father died and he had no money, so he had to take over the family business. Whereas my poor dad was a PhD from Stanford, University of Chicago, Northwestern, and he was the head of education for the state of Hawaii, but a poor man. The reason today we have such a gap between rich and poor is because our school teachers are poor people. They want pensions, they want steady paychecks. Nothing wrong with that. But that's not getting rich.
That's true.
The biggest mistake, this is the number one mistake that teachers make. They teach you don't make mistakes. Yeah. How in the world can a person learn if they don't make mistakes?
That's true.
A baby can't learn to walk unless they fall down. Could you imagine if a baby falls down, the teacher goes, stupid, 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 stupid. The student would never walk. So my poor dad never made mistakes. That's why he was poor. Whereas my rich dad, he said, you have to learn to make mistakes and learn from your mistakes. So when you fall down, it's like, okay, what did I need to learn? And that's when you get smarter. No, because they're teaching people to be poor.
Yes, that's true. That's a sin.
It's really, like this is my friend here, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
We're at the Trump and Doral.
Yes, sir.
He's a great, great man,
Yeah.
but he talks about his mistakes. And most school teachers haven't made any mistakes, and you wonder why they're poor. Oh, I haven't made any mistakes, but I know all the answers. Stupid. And they teach that to the kids.
Yeah. It's
Anyway,
a
so
sin.
that's my bitch.
It's like a sin, yeah.
Because I failed so many times getting rich. So many times. It was terrible. But I'm a rich man because I fell down.
Yeah.
And I learned how to stand up.
Yeah. That's
And our school systems, when you fall down, you stay down because you're stupid. For teaching kids that making a mistake means you're stupid. Making mistakes means you made a mistake. Learn something from it. That's all it means. But school teachers are doing so much damage to the world today. That's why, 25, 30 years ago, I wrote this book here, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. My poor dad, professor. Rich dad, entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So what do you want to be? You want to be a professor and poor, or a rich entrepreneur? And we're here at Trump's Doral Country Club.
Yeah. Thank God.
Good friend of mine.
Of course.
So,
What I love, Robert, is that when I met you, I was thinking very small, very tiny. And because of the cash flow game, I started to change my subconscious mind. And you were C student, and I was C student. So when I met you, there is hope for me, because being a C student doesn't mean that you cannot be successful. No. I was in the right side of the quadrant. And when I met you, I know that I can be on the right side of the quadrant.
they don't know what quadrant means.
Okay, so the cash flow quadrant is, the E stands for employee, the A for the S for self-employed, the D for business owner, and the I for investor.